Hi everyone, it's Karen and I'm back with my first design team project for the month of May for AngeldreamCraftsKim on Etsy. And I will leave links to her beautiful Etsy shop in the description box below. So with one easy click, you can go to the shop and do all the beautiful things she has and do some shopping. And I will also leave links to the very talented designers that she has creating beautiful projects with her products from the store. The month of May for me is always the kickoff for the wedding season, and it is the month that I was married in. We celebrate our 42nd anniversary this year. We've been together for 49 years, and so I wanted to create something bridal. And that's what my focus is for both my projects this month. My second one will be coming up soon, and it also has a bridal theme. And this is a lovely lace book that is, I'm calling Here Comes the Bride, and it's a keepsake book. There are pockets and tucks inside that are all designed to be able to fill this book up with all kinds of keepsakes and photos and things like that. And she's been created with a beautiful Battenberg part of a tablecloth, and that's in the background, and then absolutely lathered up with beautiful laces and trims, many of them from Kim's shop. This type of project takes quite a bit of lace, and so I have used some past laces from Kim's shop, pieces from almost all of the ones that were in my design team package, and then some from my own stash. And I will point out all the ones that are from Kim's shop. And I've made signatures with fabric pages, and also I've put in some other pages that I'll show you inside. I don't want to tell you all the little secrets inside yet. On the outside, what I did was I created a front and back cover using the Battenberg tablecloth in the background with some heavy felt in between the layers. So it's got some stability, but it's still soft and squishy. And you can get a little hint of maybe what's inside. There's a bit of that crackling noise. Just a different element that I decided to add in to this book. It's done in the creams and whites and beige and vintagey type of colors. Sort of what I was going along the lines of. This book would also be beautiful if someone wanted to create a gift, an anniversary gift for someone who is celebrating an anniversary, and tuck in, you know, old pictures and things inside, and you'll see more of that as I show you it. So the front, I designed a wedding dress on the front, and I know maybe it may be difficult to see it, so I'll point it all out. It is hanging on one of Kim's beautiful little hangers from her shop, her charm hangers. And the shoulders are beads, are little pearly beads. And then the dress itself is sort of a, you know, it goes across the top and comes into the waist here. And it's created on a little drawstring bag, tea bag, that helped create the base of it, covered with some lace from my stash. And the skirt is created with the beautiful creamy colored rosettes that Kim gave me in my design team package. And she has these in different colors in the shop, and it's so pretty. And I've actually seen a wedding dress once that had the skirt was created with these type of rosettes, so I thought it was cute. This is part of the applique that I received in my design team package, and I cut it all apart as I did before when I got it, and I added it here at the waist. Some of the leaves, some of the beads right at the waist, and a little flower here, the bigger one, and then it cascades down the side of the dress here to the bottom of the dress, which is again the same lace from my stash, which matches the top. And then I've added the applique coming right down to the bottom. There's some little flowers in the center of each of these. They're little sort of acrylic flowers from my stash. And that creates the dress. The background has that gorgeous flat lace that was in my design team package. You get quite a large piece of it, and I think in the end I've pretty much used it up. Quite wide, it's about 6 inches wide. It has these beautiful flowers on it. I did add some little flat back acrylics in the center of them, and that wraps around the whole entire book down the side as well. Covers over, I did some gold and white strings to do the pages inside, and then added pearly beads, some little hearts that are made from shell, and then added some florals in that, and then I'll show you the end of the strings in a minute. I'll just finish off the binding here. I just added 2 acrylic roses right along the binding. And then on the strings, what I did was I created 2 miniature wedding dresses and then a bouquet of like wedding flowers. So this is the bouquet of flowers, and I carried white gardenias as what I chose for my bouquet, and these reminded me of that. I did add some stickles to them to give them some sparkle, little leaves, and then this dangle piece is from one of Kim's dangles from her laces, and I just cut a few pieces off and added them there and added some pearls and bling to them. And now the bouquets, a lot of them have bling and pearls added in them, so I did add a few little pearls in with the flowers, because back when I was married that wasn't a thing, but certainly when my daughter was married it was, and when I did all the flowers for her wedding, I added bling into her bouquet, so I decided to do that on this one. This is one of the little dresses. These are put together on the little dress form charms that Kim has in the shop. They're a silver dress form. You can see the bottom of it here sticking out, and I just created 2 little dresses. So this one has a big poofy skirt on it, and just some acrylic flower at the top and a little piece of lace for the top of the dress. And then there's a bit of florals and leaves at the top here with sequins and beads and that sewn on. And then the back of the dress is backless, and then it has a little floral and ribbon detail here at the back. So really cute. It's about 2 inches long. And then this one is a gathered, more of a gathered, with a gathered top on it and pearls around the waist, and then a piece of a wedding applique down the front. And this is a piece, the dress is made from a piece of the netted lace with the polka dots on it from Kim's shop. And then the back, I just put a few more flowers from a wedding applique and added that to the back of that one. And this one is got a second layer of lace underneath that you can see coming through the tulle, because this tulle is of course quite light, and so I just added another layer of lace underneath it. So those are the 2 little dresses and the florals on the actual strings there. Down across the bottom is this gorgeous lace that was in my design team package that's in Kim's shop. It's a beautiful, beautiful lace. And if you want to see more details of these laces, you can just refer back to my video that I did with my opening of my design team package for the last video. I've added some flat back bling and some flat back pearls to the trim just to give it a little bit more sparkle. There's quite a bit of sparkle I've added. It was either in the appliques, wedding appliques that I've had in a stash for a long time, waiting to make, with always plans to make this book, but I never had gotten to it yet. So following through with that, I added bling and pearls, either hand stitched or glued on to other pieces. I've added a little here with some little pearly beads and a little heart dangling down. This gorgeous trim up the side here is from Kim's shop. It has all these beautiful bugle beads, sequins and beads on it. And then it has this netted piece which has little tiny bugle beads in it. Very, very, very pretty. You can see how it sparkles. It's so pretty. And then this is the edge of it here, which is a mesh edge. And I just added these, sewed these on myself, sequin and a little pearly bead. The top is again one of Kim's beautiful laces. This was in my design team package. It has a dangle on it. Let me see if I have a piece of it left. It has a dangle, really pretty sort of feathery dangle, and with these beads hanging on the end. I just took that off and used the top of it. I loved how it looked, the scallop on these little floral pieces. I love how that looked across the top of the book. And I just added again some bling and some little flat back pearls from my stash. I created a little piece here in the corner. This reminded me of, again, part of what some people carry in their bouquets, bigger bouquets, and I love this spray of pearls. This is actually from a vintage headpiece that I got in a thrift shop, and it had all these pearls attached in it, and I just pulled them out. I added a bunch of them here. And then this is a trim underneath. These beautiful pieces here are a trim from Kim's shop, one that I had a few pieces left of, and I wanted to use them here. This is an applique from my stash. And then I added the 2 little perfume bottle charms from Kim's shop because I just thought they looked really cute there, and they went along with the little hanger, and you know, every bride wants to smell pretty on her day, so I thought perfume bottles would be nice there. And you'll see I've got some of them inside the book as well. There's what she looks like from the top. She does have a little bit of black accents in her as well, because I just thought the black was a nice contrast with the whites and the bridle. This is the bottom here, all the dangles. Every page has dangles on it, so there are lots and lots and lots of lushness at the bottom, all those beautiful dangles. And the side is a closure that I created, something different. I haven't seen it before. I'm not saying that it's my idea, but I've never seen it before. I just decided to do something like this. I used that beautiful lace. There it is there. That was from on the front. I wrapped a piece of it up here and attached a small piece here. And then I joined those together with the seam binding in 2 lovely bows. And this is a really beautiful white seam binding. And then that beautiful cameo that was in my design team package, I decided to pin it right here on the side. It isn't actually part of the closure. It's separate. It's attached to the top part of the closure, and it just lays there really so pretty from the side. That's the side view. And I just thought it was so perfect to add to a wedding, a book. And that's the side of the album there. And this has, there is room in here that if you were to stuff this with other things in the pockets, there is room to loosen these off and room for this to expand. And I'll just show you the back. It's more simple. I leave the back more simple because I like it to be able to lay flat. I had one of these beautiful hearts from Kim's shop, and she gets them. She has been restocking them, so if they aren't in the shop, she's probably getting more in. And I added that to the back here. Of course, there's that piece of that beautiful lace, and again, some of my own little, excuse me, my own little acrylic pieces added in, and then I continued that trim out right around to the back for the top. That's part of it, that dangle trim. But I just loved how that looked at the top. And then at the very bottom is that beautiful lace that again is from the same as at the front. But here I added another little piece of lace at the top of it that is also one of Kim's popular ones in her shop. A lot of the laces that I had little bits of, I used up making this beautiful book. So it has these V's on it with these little fans, and it has a dangle on it as well. I cut the dangles off, and then I added back in 2 pieces of the dangle with a little bit of bling below each of these points to dangle down between the flowers of the next trim. And it almost blends all together like one trim, but there is a couple of different trims going on there. Same beautiful trim down the side at the back with those beads and everything on it. I just loved it so much. I just didn't add any more to it on this side. I left it a little more simple, whereas on the front I blinged it up a little bit more. So let's have a look inside. Just simply untying the pretty little bows on the side, and this part just will lay down flat here. This is the side piece, and we can open her up. And the pin just comes along. It's pinned onto the little piece there. And so here we go. Now I did add in some vintage photos that I had, and they're copied onto photo quality paper. I only put them in there as an example of where the pockets are and how you could use this, but it's, you know, and they'll certainly come with it, and she will be for sale, and the details will be in the description box below if you want to contact me. Certainly these could be lifted out and you could put in anything you wanted. So the back of the first page, and I'll just give you some details about her. She has 14 pages, including the back of the front and back page, and she has 2 big pockets, and I'll show you those. And then every single page is a pocket or a tuck. and she is 8.5 inches tall, and then is another 2 inches of dangles on the bottom, and she's about 7 inches wide. Good size, and the pockets are nice and big. This is the first of one of the pockets, and it goes right, it's the length, half the length of the page. And I've created these pockets by using bridal satin in the background on some of them, and then just building up flowers and laces on top. It's all, every single piece has been hand laid on. There's a bit of a doily here at the bottom. There's pieces of my laces and Kim's laces, and then there's also the beaded ones here are all part of a bridal trim that I had in my stash. And that I just swept it across the bottom to create the pocket, and then swept a piece up the side. This pretty trim sticking out all the way down the side here in this creamy color is one of the beautiful trims from Kim's shop, and that's this one. So I used just the scallop on the side to put down the side of here. This is a little flower that I crocheted myself, and you roll it into a little rose, and then I added a little piece from my stash. I've created some pretty stick pins and added them to this book. There's a little one here and another little one here, and they're just tucked in amongst all the florals, and some of them are glued in and some of them are removable. It just depends on how they laid and what I decided to do. And then I've just tucked in a little bit of black trim in amongst the flowers there. And I just think it just really especially makes these black and white photos really pop, which I thought was a really cool idea. Why I thought this album would really lend itself well to putting black and white photos in, which often people do black and white photos now because of the detailing that you see. So this is the second page, and this is where you'll see the bit of surprise. I used vellum, and I did a vintagey lace digital printed onto it, and then I added that in. So it gives another element to the book, and I just thought it sounded nice, and it looked really pretty with the sort of sepia colored portraits and the black and white. I added in these little perfume bottles here and there because I just thought they were so pretty, and that's a digital as well. This is a beautiful piece that is all from a wedding dress. Down the side here, there's part of one of Kim's laces here, this beautiful one with the diamond shapes. It actually has an extra piece that I just cut off the top, and I just used this amount of it. This is another one of her beautiful laces. This is the pineapple lace. This again is I had a little piece left in my stash, and it looked so pretty here. I just added the bling to it. Here's another one of my little stick pins tucked in here. And this one has one of the little safety rubber things on the bottom, so this one could be removed. And then this was a little piece of the heart lace I had left in my stash, and I used that on the top here. This black lace here creates the pocket on this page, and these little photos tuck in there. Bigger photos could tuck in. This is the back side of that page. Again, a beautiful wedding applique runs all the way along the top. Some pieces, acrylic pieces from my stash. This gorgeous lace at the bottom is the one I just showed you, the beige one. And with this one, I hand embellished it with little pearly beads and sequins. And then I also added, with a little bit of glue, added in a few flat backs as well on there. So it's a combination of gluing and hand sewing to bring that piece to look a little bit different. It's a beautiful lace. I love, love, love the netted laces, but I also like that you can change how they look by adding in your own little bits too. And then on this side is another beautiful trim from Kim's shop that I had a little bit left in my stash, and that's this rose trim. She has other rose trims in the shop. Not all of them are dangles, but I'd saved this piece again, knowing I wanted to do this album. So it has these beautiful dangles, and I just took one to put down the side of here and trailed it down. Little piece of black lace again forms on the edge of that paper that partially comes over to this page. The strings that attach it in, I just added some white, a variety of white little beads and a little drop pearly bead. on there. So this pocket is created partially with the lace and partially with the vellum there. And then this side is also a pocket. So this beautiful bit here is all, again, created the way I did all of them. I have a bit of material in the background, and then I added in bits and pieces. And what I do is I just use my little spatula that is safe to use with the hot glue, and I just tuck it in there when I'm gluing things together so that the pocket doesn't get glued closed. And it's nice and smooth inside. You'll be able to fill that up with lots of things. And what I did was I just sort of showed you can tuck photos in that can go partway under the vellum and partway under that pocket as well. And this, I just put this little one in the bottom here. And this has all been created with little bits of lace, some from Kim's shop, some from my stash, some wedding applique. This floral is from Kim's shop, and I just added a doily and some tulle underneath it. So kind of upscaled it. And these flowers up here, these beautiful big white ones, they're also from one of Kim's trims. And I just trimmed off and used the flowers. This is the first of 2 big pockets that were created. These pages were created with this pretty cream cotton material with some embroidery work already on it. And so I left all that, you could see it, and I created a big pocket when I created these 2 pages together. And in here, I've just tucked, you can put anything, of course, you wanted, but I just didn't want to leave them empty. So I just took some little papers that I had in this sweet little folder, and I put a tie on it and added some wedding applique of those in. That you could take them out and give that away separately. You could use those papers to add in. They've got roses and that on them, so they're quite appropriate to add into a book for a wedding, since roses are quite popular at weddings. Another little stick pin here as well. And actually there's a little one over here as well. The next 2 pages. One, I created a belly band. So it's some felt material in the background covered with laces and florals, and again all built up the same way, little bits of laces and doilies and some handmade flowers and some other bits, and I just keep on applying them until I get it built up the way I want it. And added another little stick pin. This one's little pearly beads and has a little silver heart there in the middle. And then behind here, I'll just pull this out. You can see some of that stitching on that fabric that created that page. This beautiful lace here is from Kim's shop, and that was in my design team package. Absolutely gorgeous, beautiful embroidery on that. Makes for a beautiful dangle piece, which is how I used it there. And then to make it longer, I added another piece in the bottom, and that's that one that on the previous page where I just had cut out and used the diamonds. Now this is the full length of it, and this is how it looks. And these are the dangles that are used on one of the little ties with the floral bouquet as well. So a very versatile lace. You can really cut it apart, or you can use it like this. And I just added it along the bottom to add length to that lace so that the dangles was similar from page to page. Running down the side of this one is another one of the gorgeous laces from my design team package. This one had the big long dangles on it. I just took them off. I can use them for something else. I love the scallop on the edge of this one. It's not just a scallop, it has some little extra little detailing on it. It's so pretty, and I wanted that to run down the side of the page, and just to show you that you can change your dangles up. They don't always have to be out the bottom. Take the dangles off. You can always add them somewhere else and then use it on the side like this, or across the top. Or this is wide enough almost that if you added a bit of something underneath it, it could be a belly band. And then I just added some flat backs down the center of that just to add a little bling there. A little paper and fabric envelope to go behind this belly band, but again, you could take this out and put anything behind there that you wanted. Kept in the black and white on this theme. I put a little bow there. I think this was originally from Kim's shop. It's been in my stash for a while. Again, added the little pretty heart trim from Kim's shop along the bottom. This is a bit of a sari fabric that I had in my stash, and I sewed it over top a piece of music paper. And so you can see the stitching from the sewing machine on there. And I just put a little Velcro closure on it. I did make it with a gusset inside, so it opens up quite wide. And I've just put a couple of little journaling books in there. They're just part of the paper line from the perfing bottles, and I've just rounded the corners, and there's nothing, they're just plain white inside. Chose this piece of paper from a hymnal that I had because it had the word promised still quite visible here as part of the title, and it just fit perfectly with this fabric over top, and I just thought, well, that was so appropriate with a wedding theme as well. So that goes underneath here. And then this is just a piece of little bit of stuff cut out from the black, one of the black laces. Down the center, I may have forgotten to mention, I've added in this pretty lace from my stash that has these little beads and sequins all the way down. It helps reinforce the center. It also has a black ribbon running through it. Page has a beautiful tuck spot on the side here created with this black lace. It has this gorgeous rose trim at the top here. This is one of Kim's laces, and in a regular one she carries, and I've just added a little bit of flat back acrylics to it. So you can see that you could tuck in under here, you can tuck in along the side as well. And then at the bottom, I've used her peacock trim on the bottom here, and then added the little white florals in my design team package that were on this green ribbon, and I just cut them off and I added them along here along the little peacock trim, and then put some blings in the center. And then this is the bottom of that trim that's along the top of the book. Remember I said it's kind of feathery looking with the beaded? This is where I used part of what I had cut off. So I just added it in here. And it looks really pretty. And then behind that is the peacock trim dangles. And then of course you can see the dangles from the other side coming through, which is the a netted lace. And then I created this really pretty flower here. I did some pearl strands from that. Let's get you into view here. I have some pearl strands from that pretty, oh, it looks like one of the pearls popped off there. I'll have to just cut that one out. That happens sometimes when you get these really old pieces. Sometimes some of the pearls have come off of these little filament strands. So there we go. So pearls, a little stick pin in here, and then I took some of the tulle from that pretty veil and headpiece, and it has these pearls already on it, and I just created this, sort of gathered it up to create this flower that I put over top the rose trim. That there's a rose piece of that rose trim behind here, and I gathered it all up, and then I put this big piece in. Now I had two of these earrings. I again got them from a vintage, or I believe they're vintage. You can see the backs. They're an older style, and they're very pretty. And I can just imagine, you know, the mother of the bride wearing something like that on her daughter's wedding day. So I put one of them in the middle of this flower, and I've actually clipped it in so it could be removed if you wanted to remove it. These are the next two pages. We'll concentrate one at a time because it is quite large, and I've got my camera up as high as I can go. It's space, as I've said many times. I have not a craft room, I have a craft corner. So I have this lovely netted polka dot trim from Kim's shop at the bottom here. Again, so versatile, this trim, because it can be used like a dangle piece like this. It can be gathered up for flowers. It can be used for so many things. Really, really, really pretty. Added in some of her floral trim I had from a previous design team package, and just cut a piece of it to add here, and added in some flat back bling and pearls. This is a piece from my stash, as in this corner piece, and then I just added the photo in there. Again, this is on the vellum, and I ran this polka dot trim all the way across the bottom, so it's like that, and a little bit of an acrylic trim that I had in my stash. And then here's the threads again with some beads and a drop pearly bead on there. And then on this side, I've used another one of Kim's trims, but again, just a piece of it. And it has a pretty scallop at the top, and I added in some flat back pearls, a piece of black lace down the center to create a belly band, but this is also a big pocket on the side here. And again, created the same as I've done all of them in this book, with some fabric and then building up with lots of little bits. This is a piece from Kim's shop that I've had in my stash. It has these beautiful beads all on it. All comes beaded like that, and I use that in here. Some of the flowers from her shop, but altered. Some of them I've added crocheted pieces. Some of them I've added lace. There's another one of those beaded pieces from trim from her shop. One of my little flowers that I've crocheted and then added some crochet trim and a paper flower in the middle. This is part of a beautiful beaded applique I have from a wedding dress, and then another one of my little stick pins in there. So just layering and layering and layering bits of the little stick pin created here. And so using up a lot of little bits to make these beautiful pockets. And then you can see you can tuck things in both sides again. And then this is a bit of bridal trim down the middle of this here. And I just put that photo in there like that. And then you can see the edges of the pages along the side. You can see some of the fabric, some of the bridal satin. So this beautiful page, again, this huge pocket, which runs almost the entire page. It's a very, very large pocket. The only part that isn't part of the pocket is this little bit here, just to give it some character. I loved how I was able to run some of the bridal trim with the beads all down the side here and piece in some of Kim's flowers. This one, this one, this one are all from her trims, and able to piece them all together. Here's that trim again at the top here with the bugle beads and the sequins. And again, such a pretty trim from Kim's shop. And look how beautiful it looks, all blended in with, you know, vintage appliques from a wedding dress and other trims from my stash and her trims. Just absolutely beautiful. This is a big flower I created with layers of lace and fabrics and applique and one of Kim's pretty blings in the center. Again, some of that vintage wedding applique. You can see the sequins are kind of altered in color. And there's a flower from one of her trims. That's from this beautiful one at the bottom here. This gorgeous one that runs at the bottom. This is just, I think this was last month's, but I get them confused sometimes, but I'm pretty sure she still has this in the shop. And so you can use it like this as a dangle piece, but you can also cut all these florals out separately and use them, and they're so, so pretty. So I've used, you know, this, here it is in the dangle, and here it is on here, and another one here, and of course this one at the top that I mentioned. And then this is one of her florals, but I've altered it by adding in other pieces of lace. And I like to do that with the flowers sometimes, actually altering them so that they're a mix of laces and fabrics and that kind of thing, not just the flower itself. And in the center of this one is a broken piece of jewelry. I definitely think it's a vintage piece, but I don't know for sure. I got it in a box with a bunch of stuff from a lady that gave me some broken jewelry. So I just thought that looked really pretty there with the heart. So I added that in. There's another large piece of that gorgeous bridal trim. And it looks just so beautiful with this gorgeous dangle trim on the bottom from Kim's shop. I just love how her laces blend so beautifully with vintage laces and with other laces. And I mean, hers are new laces, but they look absolutely beautiful with vintage ones as well. And with anything in your stash. You never go wrong in ordering some. Along the top of here is another one of Kim's little dangle trims with these gorgeous little wee dangles on them. This is only a piece of that trim. I just added it along the top. It scrolls along the top of that page, and I just love that. Added in some flat backs. This is a vellum page again, and again that lace down the middle. Extra reinforcement on the pages. And then this is, again, black lace, creates the tuck. This is a beaded piece of lace, gorgeous piece of black lace. And it makes the pocket on this side. Again, some vintage wedding dress applique down the side. One of those little perfume bottles. Gorgeous trim at the top and at the bottom is from Kim's shop. So the top one I showed you, this is the other one. And this is the one that I showed on one of the other pages where I had just used this part of it. I had cut top off and I'd cut some of the dangles off and I just used the middle section. So this time what I did was I wrapped it completely around this page, so it goes right around the corner and to the other side, so it gives a beautiful lushness to the dangles at the bottom. And on this one I added some flat back acrylics and some flat back pearls just to add some bling. And there is also a stick pin on that page too, and of course your pocket is created by that lace. And then when you go to the other side of that vellum page, we have Kim's gorgeous peacock trim at the top, running along the top. This was a double peacock trim she had in the shop, and I cut it set from it. So this is the bottom of it, and then the top, the second layer of it is over here. So again, versatility, being able to use the laces in more than one way, that's a wonderful thing to be able to do when you purchase a lace. Another one of little flowers altered with some lace and then a little acrylic piece in the center. Beautiful rose trim again down the side. This is one of my favorite trims too. Kim repeatedly gets it in the shop and it's an absolute beauty. These leaves on it are beautiful. You can cut them off separately too. This time I just added, with a little bit of glue, I added a sequin and a little acrylic bling in the center of those roses. And they go all the way down into the dangle, and then across the bottom of course is that lace I talked about that I wrapped right around the page. And on this side I just simply put in some acrylic pieces on it. And this of course is a big tuck spot that tucks in the top here into the peacock trim and then all along the side, so lots of ability to tuck goodies in there as well. And again, I just put the photos in there so you could get an idea of the tuck spots. This side is, of course, that peacock trim with a little bit of acrylic bling on it. A beautiful couple of big flowers that I made with laces and doilies. And this one has the creamy piece is a doily that I crocheted myself and then added the rest of these pieces to it. So again, this is a pocket. And it's again created with some laces, and then it's built up with the flowers, these beautiful spray of pearls, a little heart there, and other little pieces are added on as well to build it up and build the layers up. And then this is a piece of a wedding dress. It repeats throughout the book as well. This scalloped piece, I may not have always mentioned it, but that's also from a wedding dress. And another one of my little stick pins put in here with lace and pearls. And then of course this is again a belly band and a tuck spot here with the vellum, and the black creates a bit of a belly band. It doesn't go all the way through, it's more, well, I guess it's a tuck. It's a tuck from this side under the black lace, and it's a tuck from this side, and then of course there's this big pocket here as well. So you have lots of options in how you might want to put things into this book. So I just tucked a little picture there of a bride, and then I've just put a little wee one that I had just down on the bottom here. But lots of possibilities. And at the very end here, the final fabric page, and again, beautiful big tuck spot created up the whole side of this page with a doily, and then this beautiful trim from Kim's shop with that little dangle on it. And this one I've just added some bling in, and this is only a part of it. It's probably about another 1.5 inches wide. There's another piece of that wedding dress fabric or lace that's on there. Some black lace to help create the pocket on this side. And then again, some crocheted work by me. And then there's another piece of that beautiful vintage wedding applique that I had. This is a charm set from Kim's shop. This was in my last month's package, and it has the little heart and key, heart lock and key, which I thought was so cute and went along with the theme. And then again, the rose trim at the bottom, and this time with some bigger acrylic pieces, and those are just from my stash. And this page is all on the back, over top the fabric that made up the page. I put a piece of that gorgeous lace that you see on the front and you've seen that made the closure. So I used it in that application as well. It's a beautiful lace, very, very versatile, really pretty. And then this is the back page, or the inside of the back page. Again, this is a huge big pocket that I've created with lace in the background that was part of the wedding dress and some of the dress satin. And then I built up with lots of flowers with wedding applique there. These are all altered or handmade flowers. Here's some of those little white flowers again from that trim from Kim's shop. This beautiful dangle is the one that was down the side of the page before, and this is from Kim's shop, and this has the dangles on it. Now I did cut a little bit off the length of these dangles just so that it matched nicer with the length of the dangles throughout the book. So they're cut a little bit shorter, but that's the dangle on it. It's really pretty. And then the top of this page again has that beautiful vintage piece from that wedding dress. I had quite a large piece from that wedding dress that I've used in this book, and it has the beautiful sequins that are kind of yellowed over time. It's a really big pocket. This was about this deep. I called it a keepsake book because there's so much room for tucking in precious memories, or if someone likes it with just the vintage photos that are in it, it's fun to flip through and look through. But it would be so much fun, wouldn't it, to replace those with some of your own photos or some from your children's weddings done in black and white. So pretty. And then that's the closure, and that's the back again, which we already talked about. So there she is. I'm just going to quickly do her up. So please go over and check out Kim's shop, check out the other designers. There's such a talented group of ladies that I have the honor of being on the team with, and they're always creating such beautiful and inspirational projects and showing you so many pretty ways to use Kim's laces and trims. And there she is. I hope that you liked what I had to show today. I hope you would consider giving this video a thumbs up, subscribing if you haven't, and turn on the notification bell so you know the next time I upload a video. And I will leave information in the description box for Kim's shop, all the designers, and information to contact me if you're interested in purchasing this beautiful book. And I will talk to you all soon. Bye for now.